Hello everyone. Yeah, so I got a new stream set up because I got a new computer, and now I can do things like 3D stuff on the stream. So that's gonna be kind of cool. Have a happy Saturday. I just went swimming this afternoon. We got this big outdoor pool in Montreal, so I was there this afternoon. Alrighty, so I'm working on Safe Mode episode 6, and it's got tons of crazy stuff happening in it. This particular shot, I need a shot of smear, kind of like close up, leaning against the bar, and so I'm going to be working on that. Yeah, so anyway, I got this crazy scene involving this dude, which is basically my face. Yeah, so God. I can zoom out of the wall, that'd be a little helpful. Yeah, so anyway, I got this scene, I made it in 3D, basically. And it's speeding up, well, it's not really speeding things up because it took me forever to make it, but now that it's made, if I need a background shot, I can just render out a frame and it's done instantaneously. It's like magic. Before I used to have to draw everything. In which case, I still draw stuff. But look at this. Look at this. Isn't this friggin' insane? Look at this stuff, guys. Look at this. Anyway, so the next episode is going to be absolutely nuts. But you know, I'm not really gonna talk too much about what's going on there, what's happening in this particular scene. But as you can see, it's doing all this stuff, and I'm able to stream at the same time. It's like magic. So. Fabgore, hey man, from Italy, hey, cool dude, I hope the Blu-ray showed up in one piece. One of the problems I've been having with the Blu-rays is my shipping company doesn't package them properly, so they sometimes get a little messed up, but I hope it arrived safe. I tried using Blender many times, and I'm sure Blender is fine for many people. It's just, I found that in order for me to do one thing in Blender, it would require like 20 steps, and in Cinema 4D it would require like 3 or 4 steps. So I don't know, I'm not really a good 3D person. I'm not super talented when it comes to 3D, so I just use Cinema 4D. It's just what I find to be working for me right now. Anyway, so I need this shot kind of like not I don't want the bartender in the shot. So I'm just going to disable him for now. And I have a kind of like a 3D model of Smear's head, and I use it for, like, basically so I can get the perspective. So I'm just going to import that. Where is it? Oh, yeah, some of the stuff I was working on designs for, like, shirts and stuff. Yeah. Where the hell is his head? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Paste. Copy. Paste. Okay, there it is. I like how his head is extremely small. Do I make any of my own assets? No. So basically, when it comes to 3D stuff, I buy a lot of assets. With the exception of, like, really simple stuff. Like cubes and walls and stuff. I made a few, well, I made a couple assets recently, but they're like, it's so simple. It's just like, bullet shells and stuff. Sometimes I buy stuff and then I'll like use the sculpt tool and just kind of change it. And if I don't buy something, I usually hire like a commission someone to do a 3D model for me. I don't have the time to learn how to 3D stuff. I mean, I guess I do have the time, but if you guys want these episodes to come out like in a somewhat reasonable time frame, I have to pick and choose what I want to do, basically. So, okay, I got his head here. I'm just gonna move it back. A fox in space. Hey man, how's it going? How's the animation stuff going? I hope you're getting to enjoy the nice weather we've been having. Camera. Okay. So for this shot, I want it kind of more of a like a 3/4 view shot from top down. You'll probably see mostly the floor in the background. Tornadoes everywhere, man. Yeah, we had one recently. I'm over in St. John, New Brunswick, so it dissipates by the time it reaches here. Right on, man. Yeah. How are things going on in St. John's? Are you guys like St. John, New Brunswick? Is your town like getting a lot of new people, like Halifax is? Like it's just Halifax kind of exploded in the past couple of years. Do you feel like you're becoming more efficient as time progresses over the year? Well, yes, I'm becoming more efficient at drawing things because I know exactly what I need to do now, but I'm also taking like 4 times as long on a shot than I used to, so I'm not really becoming more efficient. It's just things have gotten better, and so... Like before, I would just draw some bullshit background. Now I have like, you know, the backgrounds are very detailed, and so. Okay, I need to look at a reference file first. Okay, so I need to just kind of picture where... Okay, he's right next to the stool. So I actually, you know what? I might get rid of the stool. Gustavo, I appreciate that. Thank you. What happens when I click? Oh shit. Let me just do... Okay, it's all good. We get a lot of cruise ships here, but most everybody's driving and just driving to get to Halifax, likely. New Brunswick is really is the drive-through province. Yeah. It's got a beautiful highway. And then, well, at least when I moved to Montreal, I remember, like, as soon as you got to the Quebec border, it, like, started crumbling. But then eventually it got nice again. Okay, so he's kind of to the left. Of the stool, and also his head is still too small, I think. Probably be more like that or something. A little bit larger. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of that stool. This shot is really going to be quite kind of like something like that, I think. I need to put a material on his face. Ayashi, thank you for the comment. Appreciate that. I don't use Adobe Animate because it's extremely old software that's no longer supported. But also, it's Flash, basically, I'm pretty sure. So it's like all vectors, and I'd like to just draw things with a camera, like with a pencil, you know. So I'm gonna add a light just for Smear's head. And I think it should work. I just... Not really sure why it's not working. So basically, a Fox in Space, you can... There's something called Autodesk Arnold for Blender, and I don't know how well it works, but it's basically the rendering engine. So all these materials are with Arnold, and so theoretically you can get the same look using Blender. Blender, I think, is just like the geometry and the animation part of it, but the actual rendering is done with Arnold. And this guy I know, Chris Rutledge, was teaching me, or he introduced me to Arnold. And it's a very cool guy. Knows a lot about like the technical aspects of 3D software. When we were in Annecy, France, he's like pointing out people being like, "Hey, that's the guy that wrote the code for RenderMan or something like that." And everyone's like, "How do you know this?" It's just based on how he looks. But yeah, I'm super appreciative, because before I was using Sketch and Tune and Cinema 4D, and that's just a nightmare to work with. Okay, so I don't know what's going on with like the shadows right now. It's kind of frustrating to do on stream because I'm trying to figure out what's going on exactly here. I think I know what's going on. I just save this as something else so I don't screw everything up. Hey everyone, I'm listening. I'm sorry if I am reading your comments. If I'm not able to like comment on everybody though, I'm talking forever. But I appreciate all the comments. Okay, let's see here. I'm just gonna start deleting some lights because I don't know what the hell. There we go. Okay, I just basically needed. I have some lights that I have to deal with. Now this should work. Yeah, okay, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so yes, there we go. Lighting, it's nice. I want his head a little bit closer towards the bar, so... Arnold also has this cool optical kind of lens thing that you can turn on and it's super wide, but it's like curves. A fisheye lens. Well, it is a fisheye lens, that's what it's called. But you can get like super wide and then zoom in. And you get this really kind of like almost, it's kind of like an ugly look. Not an ugly look, but it's like a super fisheye close-up look. I kind of want in between that and like a regular look, so I'm gonna just outdo it a little bit. Yeah, I like that. The bar here, I'm not like, you know, the thing is with animation and stuff is just because the bar is like in the shot. Well, it's just filmmaking in general. Like, you don't have, just because it's there doesn't mean you have to have it like in this particular shot. No one's gonna know that you moved it for this thing. So I'm going to just probably move the bar because I don't like how. I like the checkerboard floor, and I don't like how it's breaking up the... So, in order to do that, I'm just going to uncheck this for a second. Click on the bar, find it. And then go back. Oh, now there's this thing down here, whatever that is. Well, whatever. I'm probably just gonna fix that manually in Photoshop anyway, so I can get rid of it if I really want to. It doesn't matter though, it just takes me like a few seconds to fix that. So I'm going to, so there's a few other things here. If I move the frames along, you can see how the floor, the scratchy effect kind of is animated. That's another thing I did with the shaders. But I'm going to shrink the size of it right now. So this is how like the shader for the floor looks. It's kind of looks complicated, but it's it took me like several months to learn all this stuff, but now that I know how to do it, it's not a big deal. So it is worth learning things. But you can see how the floor is smaller. than it was before. So that's all I had to do is change a number, and there we go. So I have my... Basically, I just need 3 frames of this, and then I'm going to draw over it in Photoshop and do the manual animation on top, because... But after I figure out the lighting too, because I'm not quite sure about that lighting. I want it to be kind of dramatic lighting. So, top down. Oh, he's like under, he's like lit from below. I wonder if that's a good idea. It's creepy looking. I don't know if I like that. It's kind of hard to read. Now, also, I need to, like, reference other shots, but I'm pretty sure the background is, in that particular area of the bar. It's not blue, it's white. Yeah, there is some areas that have shadows. I think maybe for sake of cinematography, whatever, I am gonna have it be blue, because the blue is like where it's in shadows, and I think it will make his... It's supposed to be like a dark shot, you know? So... put the blue back in. And I think... let's just move his head around a little bit here. You don't want his eye to be too close to the edge of the frame. It's gonna be, it's distracting. Also, on a television set, like the one behind me, that would get cut off at the edge of the frame. So... Alright, so there we go. I like how the more minimal lighting there, so I'm gonna go with that. And I'm also going to experiment with making his face just black, like the shadows just... I think that's too much. So, use this blue color again. And rather than make it just pure black, I'm going to whoa. Yeah, this is just, I'm not going to use that gray color, but this is just so it's going to help me when I'm doing my drawings in Photoshop. It gives me a, so I can still see the outline of where his eye is supposed to be and that sort of thing. Okay, I think I like the composition of this, so I'll close that and render out basically 3 or 4 frames. I got my floor done. So now I'm basically done with the Cinema 4D for today. So this is a shot that I worked on with Ali. Ali did the foreground and I did the background. And I'm going to change some of the background to make the lighting a little bit darker. And I also think that possibly, I mean, he looks very cartoony here, which is fine. Aesthetically, it's just maybe I feel like maybe he needs to have some shadows. But anyway. It's kind of like, it doesn't really matter too much, in my opinion. Like, for the aesthetic I'm going for is sometimes he looks like cartoony, sometimes it's very dramatic, and it's just kind of like, it's just like what is happening in the scene at that moment. Like, it almost like if something funny is happening, it's like more cartoony look works a little bit better, I guess. But when he's being serious, he gets very dramatic looking in style. And that also is kind of funny, just from a animation point of view, where it's kind of like, you know, in SpongeBob, you know, when things get serious. Well, they don't do that in SpongeBob. They do it more like when SpongeBob's like scared or sweaty, they like zoom in and he's like all scared and sweaty and detailed and everything. with safe mode, it's like if things are getting serious, then suddenly the visuals get very dramatic looking, which I don't know if it's funny, but it's, I don't know, I kind of like it, so. So anyway, I have to draw his body in manually, and I'm also going to fix this thing over here. Close. It's 40 now. Yeah, and also, I don't know what the hell's going on with YouTube, but, like, my name is Abstract Daddy now on YouTube. I don't, like, I thought it was just, like, some handle thing, but now it's like, when I'm typing in a comment, it says Abstract Daddy, rather than Umami, which is kind of annoying, but, I don't know, whatever, I'll just leave it. I mean, like, basically, I don't want, like, I tried typing in just Umami, and they said it was taken. And then it clearly isn't, because, like, if I type in @Umami, it doesn't, nothing shows up. But I don't want to be Umami Animations on YouTube. It's too long, and there's nothing very aesthetic about that. So, for now, I'm just Abstract Daddy until... I don't know why. It's like a reference to Silent Hill, but it's also, it's just kind of funny and weird sounding, I guess. I was surprised it was not taken. That's kind of annoying, eh? When you have to like use these social media sites and try to like use your name or whatever, and it's like someone already took it. I guess that's what I get for choosing Umami. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the word umami is, like, people don't really know how to spell it, and then there's also the spaces, so it's like hard, it's not very good for the search, you know? Whatever. I'm not gonna change that, obviously. Okay. Just gonna add a little bit more, like, kind of hand-drawn stuff to this noise here, just so it looks a little bit less computer generated. Okay, cool. Now, I should probably, yeah, just Google the Soup Campbell Soup video or whatever. Soup song. I think you have to go in your actual Google account for this channel. For the channel, changing YouTube specific settings is such a pain in the ass. Mine was stuck as Star Fox the Animated Series for the longest time. Damn. Would you collab with Lee Hardcastle? I don't know who Lee Hardcastle is. Hopefully it's not anything sketchy. Oh, okay, okay. I think I've seen some of his stuff before. Oops. You know, actually, I haven't seen any of this before. I think I might have seen this one a long time ago. Claymation, man, that's some difficult stuff to do. That's pretty cool looking though. I mean, the thing is, I try to collab with some people. And collaboration is not that easy, honestly. There has to be like a good idea, a reason for the collab to exist, and I mean, I'd love to collab with a lot of different people, but it's just a difficult thing sometimes. Oh, okay. And I mean, there's people I've been meaning to collaborate for years, and I just never really had the right chance to do it. Okay, I need to do something here. I need to draw his body. So it's going to be kind of tricky to draw. Like, I don't know exactly where his neckline is supposed to be. And also, unfortunately, it's going to have to cover up some of the tile flooring. I put a white layer here just so I can see what I'm doing. Neck, shoulder, oh, also he's kind of leaned up against the bar in this shot, so maybe his arms come out. Yeah, unfortunately, pretty much, yeah, all of this. I'm so busy, Fox in Space says, I'm so busy with my own projects and animations, animators. The only service I can offer to other animators is my voice and blender. Exactly, man. That's usually what if I do a collaboration, it's like, I can give you a voice, or you can give me a voice, or that's basically it. I mean, I can't, it's collaboration with animation is like, it's too much work. Like, We're in Canada, so I didn't get to try the McDonald's Grimace Shake, but our BK does have a butter chicken sandwich, so that's nice. Dude, I had no idea that Burger King has a butter chicken sandwich. I haven't been in Burger King in like over 5 years. That probably sounds pretty good, but every time I've gone to Burger King, I kind of regret it afterwards. If anyone knows how to get that thing to stop showing up on the side of the screen, I would love for you to tell me how. I'm trying to figure it out, and I've been going insane. I had figured it out on my other computer, and I got this new computer so I can... all my settings are not completely transferred over perfectly yet, so... whatever. It's brand new, they just started advertising it. Oh, okay. We try to do that HelloFresh most of the time due to being so busy. That's like a food box, isn't it? I think so, right? We got this thing called Loofah Farms. It's like a greenhouse in Montreal. It's on roofs. And it's basically you order the food on the internet and they send it to your house in a little box. And then you it's very convenient. We have not gone to the grocery store as often as we used to, which is amazing because well, like do you know how much time people waste going to big box stores? Like, if I needed a toaster in the past, I'd have to get a car, like, Communauto. I don't have my own car. And then you have to drive to, like, Walmart in traffic on the other side of town, and then you'd buy this piece of shit toaster. And, like, literally everything I've just been ordering online, I feel like most people have switched over to that. It's just like, it's going to a store to buy stuff. It's like such an old way of doing things. You know, unless I need something immediately, like the hardware store. Show express view, just uncheck that in your tablet settings. Yeah, man, that's what I, oops. Go to, Wacom tablet. Show express view. See, I unchecked it. It's not supposed to be checked, right? I think it's supposed to be unchecked, right? I don't know. Dude, you know what? Like, when I bought my Wacom tablet, like, I ordered it online, and then, like, I got a phone call from Wacom, and they're like, yeah, they're like, so what's up? What you doing? Like, what are you planning on doing with that? I was like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? It's like no company calls you after you buy something and it's just like, hey, what are you doing? They just wanted to know, like, what purpose, like, so they can, like, usually, like, they send you an email and they ask, like, a survey or something. Hey, what do you know, so we can develop for your, like, type of person or whatever, right? Like, I'm an animator, so I needed you for, you know. But it was strange. I'm telling you, it was a bit strange. I think it's because when I bought it, I filled out their thing like we're an animation company, and they don't realize that I'm like just one person basically. Well, there's two of us now technically. There was another little tab there to the right for on-screen settings, I think. Man, you're not being a pain. That's you're helping me out, and that's amazing because on-screen settings. Hold on. So that's not it. On-screen shortcuts. And there was a whole bunch of shit in here, and I deleted it all. But for some reason, I can't get rid of brush tools. It's disabled. Just, maybe I have to make a new panel first and then delete it. Okay. Maybe now it's all disabled. We'll see if it shows up later. Rule 0. Hey, I love your work. Been following you since Interface started, and I wanted to show my support. Keep on writing and animating awesome stuff. Hey, Rule 0. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, why? Photoshop has generative fill, but they don't have a gap fill. I'm gonna lose my mind. I gotta message them. Be like, what's the deal with you guys? What's going on here? Just want to fill in his clothes. All layers, contagious. Is that? There's a little gap somewhere, and I just don't know where it is. Probably 1 pixel somewhere. Except I don't see any gap. Alright, let's... Why? What's going on? What is going on? There's a gap somewhere. Okay, let me just merge these layers together. Maybe that's what it is. Oh, there's somewhere the fuck there's a... Oh, I see. The tolerance is too high, maybe? No? Anti-alias, gotta turn that shit off too. All these little... Oh, see this motherfucker is just showing up again. And I don't know why. Okay, I'm gonna screen... Okay. What is your go-to fast food place? Honestly, it's McDonald's. McDonald's in Canada is very clean and very well run. I don't go to Subway anymore. That place, okay, what the hell is... Seriously, what is going on with this gap? Let me just do a test here. Okay. So the gap is somewhere. Why? There we go. I don't know. There was something there. Whatever. The only other option I can think of is to uninstall and reinstall. I think I might have to do that sometime. I think it just didn't install properly or something. Okay. Am I a fan of Scott Pilgrim, and have you ever met Brian Lee O'Malley at any event? I've never met Brian Lee O'Malley, and Scott Pilgrim, his name sounds familiar, and I think I've probably seen some movies with him, but I wouldn't describe myself as a fan just because I don't really remember what he has done exactly. Scott Pilgrim. You who tube do? Hey, appreciate that, man. Thank you. Scott Pilgrim Against the World. Yeah, man, I don't think I've actually seen that movie. I never saw it. Brian is the creator of Scott Pilgrim, and a film based on the books came out in 2010. And is getting an anime on Netflix. I'm sorry, man. I have no idea, man. Honestly, there's very few like filmmakers that I pay attention to, and other than that, I haven't really been. Michael Mann, basically #1. I watch every single movie he's ever made, and see them in theaters. He's making this movie Ferrari right now, which is coming out soon. And beyond that, Christopher Nolan, but he's kind of a hit and miss for me sometimes. Like, he came out with Tenet, and I really could not get through that, so... but I'm probably going to see Oppenheimer. Ridley Scott, he's got... I like him. You know, I think he does a pretty good job most of the time. Didn't he make Gladiator? It was like an excellent movie. And he's also mixing this new movie called about Napoleon Bonaparte right now. So that sounds very interesting. I don't know like why they casted Joaquin Phoenix though. He looks really old. And maybe it's like, wasn't Napoleon Bonaparte like 25 or something? I don't know like the history, but he was a lot younger looking. Well, whatever. Looks like a good movie though. I just wondered, since he's a Canuck like you, man. There's only like, you know, I like what's Norm Macdonald, obviously. It's one of my favorites. You know, but in terms of, yeah, I don't really know too many Canadians. Like, Canadian actors, is what I'm trying to say. Thoughts on David Lynch? I don't really have any thoughts on him other than, you know, I like his movies. Love his movies, and I wish he made more of them. And I don't know if he's working on anything now, but I don't know why these studios don't give him more money. Like Netflix, shouldn't they just be? Oh, I guess he made his the show Twin Peaks remade recently, which is not so, you know, that's pretty cool. I just feel like he's always working with like a super small budget, and it's kind of a shame. Because obvious reasons. Hello, Mammy, love your work. What's your favorite books? Any good recommendations or authors? You know, I've been having a real hard time. I don't really have a recommendation for you, you know? If you're interested in like kind of like the characters and our psyche and stuff, you could read this book called Man and His Symbols by Carl Jung, which I found to be, I guess it's one of the easier books that he's written to like comprehend what he's saying. It's still a bit confusing, but it helps me like kind of figure out like these characters that I'm coming up with and why I'm coming up with them and stuff. That was kind of cool. If you're into that sort of stuff, there's also this really interesting kind of non-fiction book called... Hold on, I'll bring it back. Carolina bought this book the other day, not the other day, a month ago, called The Book of Symbols, and it's a really beautifully illustrated book. Basically, you know, if you're like trying to interpret a dream or something, you can look up a word and you can read about it, what it means, kind of on a subconscious level. And I thought it was fun to kind of pick something from Interface and like, you know, for instance, flower, you know, like when I made the character of the snooze button character, I don't know why I just made a flower, you know, it was a flower that Lana grew from her garden, basically. But if you could read about the flower and then kind of like discover things about, like subconsciously, what were you thinking about? Maybe some of it rings true, some of it doesn't, you know. But then the things that do ring true, it kind of like helps you form a sort of basis of understanding for what you're trying to do with that character. So I don't know. I thought that was kind of interesting. Then you have like color choices, like why I use certain colors for certain things. You can look up like the kind of like archetypal meaning behind them and that sort of thing. And the book is, it's only like $50. It's hardcover, and it's really, really interesting. So I recommend that if you're interested in that. I don't have any fiction books to recommend. I have not read the Red Book by Young, no. I've read sections of it. Andy, I'm about to propose to a girl I met 5 months ago next week. Hey man, well, good luck, and I'm wishing you the best with that. 5 months, man. I guess that's like normal. Like, it's normal to propose to someone after 5 months, but I could never imagine doing that. Because I feel like I meet people and 5 months pass before I even realize what's going on, you know. 5 months goes by so quickly for me these days. When is the bird plushie coming back? Probably not for a while. I'm sorry, but I'm you know, it's yeah. Every time I do these plushies and sort of things, I gotta like promote them, and it's kind of like a big deal out of it. And I guess I could just quickly just get them remade, but not. You know, I have to quality control them and make sure they're made exactly correct, and so it might be next year or the year after. I might do another plushie, but you know, right now I'm just really focused on getting another animation out. Okay, so I like how his suit looks, so I can draw the rest of the frames now. Suit. I'm trying to, you know, some of the books that I read a long time ago. I remember The Kite Runner being a pretty good book. And this other one called Shantaram. I also, yeah, I read Shantaram. Apparently they made a TV series about it. I didn't even bother trying to watch that. I enjoyed that book. It's pretty long. Maybe I should read it again sometime. It's about an Australian prison convict who flees to India, and he makes a bunch of connections with really sketchy individuals in like the slums of Mumbai. And it's actually it's a really well-written book, and the story behind it, apparently, you know, he wrote it while he was in prison, and every time he would like finish writing it, he'd have the prison guards would like come by and basically rip it up. So he wrote it like 3 or 4 times. I don't exactly remember how many times he wrote it, but that probably is what made it such a good book, because, you know, if you're forced to just like rewrite something, you kind of think of it in a new light, kind of distill it down to its essence, and you get rid of all that fluff. And so maybe that's what kind of happened. I don't know. You know, I have never really read any H.P. Lovecraft, you know, it just wasn't something that I did, I guess. Could you make a worm plushie next? Yeah, man. I mean, here's the thing. I probably, you know, people have been wanting birds and stuff, but it's like, if I am going to do another plushie, it probably would be a different version of Mischief, you know. And a worm one sounds pretty awesome. I don't know if maybe he'll have like little arms and stuff too. But, you know, might do that. I don't think I'm ever gonna make Smear a plushie. He's not really like a plushie kind of character, you know what I mean? Lana, not Lana either. I mean, but Snooze Button maybe. I don't know. She seems like she could be pretty fun. plushie. I did read, I think, a few Edgar Allan Poe poems a long time ago. Like I've been saying though, like, I don't know, my reading habit has been shot. I don't know, I just can't seem to, like, every time I try to read something, I'm reading this book now called, Human Skeleton or something, or X-rays, skeletons. It's basically a body language book by this, like, ex-military guy. And, it's kind of interesting, but I don't know what is my aversion for fiction stories. It just seems to... can't read them. I can't play video games either anymore. Like I don't really enjoy it that much. And same thing for like movies. Maybe I'll watch a movie every 3 weeks or something on the couch. Carolina. I haven't gone to a theater in forever. Except for maybe the film festival. I don't know if that really counts, though. I've been really into just staring into the void. So, I don't know what's up with that. But that's, staring into rocks, or oceans, or trees. Seems to be my new hobby, just staring at objects. Yeah, I think it has something to do with screen time, And reading obviously isn't a screen, but everything else is. I'm trying to reduce the amount of screen time. You know how depressing it would be? Like when people die and you like get this flashback of your life and stuff. The first like 20 years of my life is gonna be like normal, and then it's gonna be like screens for like 2 decades. So I just trying to reduce that down as much as possible now. It's really hard. The screens kind of just bled into every facet of our lives. You can't even do certain things anymore without a phone. Yeah, I think maybe that's what it is, Hammy. Gustavo, appreciate hanging out, man. Catch you next time. I can do that, smoke a joint and stare at the abyss. Yeah, man. I agree with you on that, but even that can be a bit of a... sometimes the weed is just... it's too much of a crutch. Sometimes it helps me be creative though, for sure. So in that case, that's not such much of a crutch. I just have to be mindful about how much I'm doing, because Sometimes you just get like, I find that it's, if you make music with it, for instance, you become satisfied with whatever thing you're working on, and you just want to listen to it rather than actually work on it. I find that to be true. So you have to be careful. Well, at least I have to be careful when I do that. Crafting your life for a better life review experience. Yeah, man, that's what it is. And I think it's like a pretty healthy way to, I don't know if it's a healthy way to approach it, but like imagine like when you're like 90 or whatever, if you manage to get to that age in your life and then you die. Like, do you want your life to be full of memories of playing video games and stuff? I mean, some of it's fun, like if you're playing with friends and stuff, but at a certain point, you're gonna wanna, you know, there has to be other things in there too. And I feel like video games are like, they're still like, they're new, like it's like a new phenomenon, really. They didn't really exist 20 years ago, like in terms of everyone having them. Arcades still existed back then. I remember I used to go to arcades as a kid. I don't think I really, you know, there's an arcade in Montreal, but it's, you know, do people really go to arcades anymore? They're kind of like specialty places now. They're not like there used to be an arcade, in like a mall, you know, in every mall. Even malls, man, they don't really exist anymore. I mean, they exist, obviously. They're just not the same, you know? It's like, it used to be the place that people would just go, you know, and you could run into someone you know there. Nowadays, you go to a mall, it's like people you're just trying to get some, like, I don't know, man, everything's ordered online these days, you know? Yeah, Wolf, appreciate that, man. Yeah, arcades are totally obsolete. And honestly, they were kind of getting obsolete when I was a kid, you know? People would be like, well, what, you know, everyone had like PlayStation 2s and PlayStation 1s and stuff back then. So why would you go to an arcade that has like basically inferior software or hardware, and you have to pay like a couple dollars every time? There was this one arcade game called 18-Wheeler American Trucker, though, and that was pretty fun. Eventually, it came out on Dreamcast. I like that one though, because it was like a big. They had this like big, like rig sort of thing that you sat on. Like that was the cool thing. It was like the physical steering wheel and the shifting and the gears and the gas pedal and all that. Christian Kramer, weed and any psychoactive tends to get tiring when you realize you've been wearing down the same path each time. I've been trying to open my perspective and try new paths with it, and it seems to help. I feel that way with weed, you know, for sure. Mushrooms, on the other hand, I feel like they are... I just feel like they are... it's general helps with mood a lot. I feel like they're a lot more beneficial with less negativities. got to go. My son is making teas himself. He'll also be back at mid soon. Hey, well, appreciate hanging out with me, and have a good night. Arcades make people go out more to hang out with their friends. Yeah, well, especially, okay, also, you know, pinball machines are like, you know, how do you use... They get these like virtual pinball machines. It's not even like this. What the hell is that, man? What is this? You know, kudos to the programmers for making very faithful recreations of these things, but it's not... The fun part is that it's physical, you know, it's like a physical ball being pushed around. Yeah, I mean, the 18-wheeler game wasn't really that great as a like a standalone, like a game. It was a good arcade game, but the Need for Speed games were obviously way more popular because they were just better. Excuse me. I remember playing this game called Midtown Madness. Midtown Madness 2. And just the fact that you could just drive anywhere in the city was like revolutionary at the time. I think it was before Grand Theft Auto 3. Not entirely sure. Federico Rossi. Would you consider yourself leaning more towards a Junji Ito kind of artist, or more of a Hayao Miyazaki kind of? Well, Junji Ito, I'm not really too familiar with who that is. Oh, right, okay, well, I know who that is, and they're making aren't they making a show on Adult Swim? Did that ever... It didn't come out yet, though, did it? I don't really know anything about this guy. But I would say that I'm trying to aim for something down the middle between these two people. Some of... I love Studio Ghibli movies, but I really love two of them, which is Spirited Away and Nausicaa Valley of the Winds, I think it's called, and maybe one or two other ones. And then the rest of them, I find that they're too... I'm not particularly interested in. How do you get rid of this thing now? Oh my god. Let me just close Photoshop. Bernie, been a fan since Nexpo introduced me to Interface all that time ago. Gonna take a nap, but always... Hey Bernie, thanks for hanging out, man. I'll catch you next time. I went to an arcade a few weeks ago. Every machine is just a giant iPhone where you slap stuff on a screen like Veggie Ninja or Flapping Bird. It's so sad. What? So it's like basically like an iPad in a box. Yeah, man, I wouldn't even like... What? I don't know, man. That doesn't sound right to me. That's... It ain't right. You know, there was a video game I played recently, though. I played, that Russian game. What's it called? The robots. Fuck. Atomic Heart. And at first, you know, it felt kind of fun, but after about 30 hours, I was like, I'm not really enjoying this. You know, the visuals were fun, but the gameplay just... It was just like kind of boring. Like characters just getting spammed at you, and I found the upgrading the guns and stuff to be very tedious. It would like take forever to upgrade shit, and you have this inventory management which was tedious. I'm just like, can someone just make a game where you find a gun and you pick it up and it's in your inventory forever, like Half-Life 2 or Grand Theft Auto 3? Like, can we just go back to not having inventories? Like, I don't understand this obsession with video game companies making you manage inventory. Like, that sounds like the opposite of fun to me. If I'm playing a video game, I don't want to be going through and looking at numbers and the weights and sizes and stuff. Like, can I just fucking pick up a Panzerfaust or whatever and throw it under my back and just use it 20 minutes later? After I like craft it, I have to craft it out of like twine and like 13 nuts, and some like 14 like metal cylinders that look like butt plugs, and then like 67 like resistors, and you gotta like search for things in every room. You're just constantly searching through drawers, and it becomes very tedious.
What is brand new video games?
Yeah, I'm like, is that like, how is that fun? Well, what happened? What happened to just, where's the fun? Like, Half-Life 2 doesn't have any of that shit. You just, oh, what's this? You smash a crate open, and there's like, there's this crazy ass gun you've never seen before. You kill a Columbine, you pick up their Columbine gun, and you're like, oh my god, what is this thing? That's fun. I don't know, maybe I'm just a boomer. I tell you something, I hate crafting in video games. There is a puzzle game that is entirely just Resident Evil 4's briefcase menu. Man, I tried playing Fallout 4 or whatever, and it was like that little Pip-Boy thing on his guy's arm. And I was going through the menus, and then, you know what I did? I paused the game, I shut it down, and then I uninstalled it. I was like, there's no fucking way I'm gonna go through this godforsaken Pip-Boy. I feel like I sound like a boomer talking like this, but you know, it just, I don't have the patience for that. So okay, so there's my character. His suit is kind of zooming around. Now I have to do the same. I want to add that texture, that kind of pencil look. Yeah, it's not a Columbine gun. It's a Combine gun, by the way. Jesus. Whoa. Just left it and moved the box. My finger. Okay. There we go. Okay. I still play the same 5 indie games I have the past 4 or 5 years. Yeah, man, they came out with that Valve game, Half-Life Alyx, and I'm like, man, that means they're gonna come out with Half-Life 3 soon, doesn't it? Or Half-Life, yeah, Half-Life 3, right? Because they made all these new assets, and then they just nothing came out. and I'm not gonna pay for a Valve Index so that I can play one game that's gonna last like 3 days and then never pick it up again. So what kind of game will get you rated back on the saddle again if you could make one? You know, I had this idea for a video game. You guys can steal it if you want. It's kind of like The Sims, except it's not The Sims, obviously. It's like a house, right? And you are a ghost, and you can go around the house, and you can like knock things over, right? You can knock over like lanterns, and you can rattle a doorknob and that sort of thing. And the point of the game is to make the people inside the house scared. And I don't know, like I feel like if you're able to like integrate some sort of this new AI technology so that the NPCs behave in a kind of intelligent manner, I feel like that would be kind of fun. I don't know, maybe that might just be I don't know if that sounds fun or not to you. It sounds fun to me. But it would have to be like a very deep amount of like interaction. Like you can literally pick up every object in the house, and like you could combine objects, like you combine bleach with like I don't know, other chemicals, and then you could make some poisonous shit in the house, you know, or make a bomb or something. Like I don't know, you could like take a step ladder and just like angle it above a door or something, you know, so when people when they come inside their house and the ladder lands on their head or something. I don't know, something. Ghostmaster, it's already a thing. Oh my god. Ghostmaster, eh? Sounds pretty good. Maybe it would be cool as like a VR game, you know, and you could actually play with other real people. And so like the other real people would just be people that are watching a movie on their VR headset or something. Like, you know what it would be is, so for the normal person is, you put the VR headset on and it just displays a video of your like house, right? Well, I guess this would be kind of messed up because then you'd be violating people's privacy. But imagine if you could like play multiplayer with like a friend, right? And then they're just sitting on the couch doing whatever, and then you could kind of like, you could be a virtual ghost in their headset, you know? You could spook them in the doorway. I don't know, that sounds like there's probably a lot of issues with that idea. I don't know why I want to scare people so much. Anyways. There's that new game, new City Skyline game. It looks like it's probably pretty good. But, you know, for someone like me now, it's like I look at that stuff and I think, oh, that's 2,000 hours of your life. You're gonna pay them $60 for 2,000 hours of your life to be gone. So I've been really just avoiding video games. Way too, Andrew. Appreciate it. Thank you. Phantasmagoria? No, Phantasmagoria. Mogoria? Phantasmagoria had a mic pickups that if you hear you scream, the ghosts can find you. You know, Alien Isolation had that too, I believe. On the hardest setting, I think if you like made noise like in your living room while playing the game, the alien would hear where you were. I'm pretty certain that was like a feature. Whoops. City skyline is the biggest hole ever. Spent most of my junior year in college building a city just to cause massive traffic issues and give up. Yeah, man, I don't know. Like, I know it's like, I used to play a lot of video games. I don't play that much anymore, but I feel like people don't realize how much like time goes into playing video games, and just imagine if I spent 2,000 hours doing literally anything else. Like, I'd be pretty good at, like, in terms of mastering a skill, they say that it takes 10,000 hours. And I used to play this game, Hunt Showdown. I still play it, like, actually I haven't played it in over a month, but I'm probably gonna play it like maybe next week or whatever, because I just like hanging out with my friends on there. But I really want to cut it down to like maybe 2 or 3 times a month at most, because I got like a retarded amount of hours in that game. I don't want to, and basically the skill that you develop in that game is being very good at clicking at people's foreheads. So you can learn a guitar, you can learn to play piano, you can learn a new language, or you can click on people's foreheads really efficiently. So I don't know. It's fun to click on foreheads, but at a certain point, you start realizing how much time you're investing in clicking on foreheads, and you realize, what the hell's going on with my TV? I put something else on it. Orograph by Yovozol. Yovozol is he's like an analog artist, and he's got a Bandcamp page. I met him, and he's like a young guy, and he's making all these cool things, like visuals for like nightclubs and music shows and that sort of thing. And I got his permission to play his stuff on my television. So. Have you ever heard of a game Crawl? You play with friends and they play as ghosts that possess monsters, traps, and objects. The hero dies, the ghost that killed him becomes the new hero. I haven't heard of it, man. It does sound fun though. Those kind of multiplayer games with your friends, they're always fun. Even if it's just because you're playing with your friends, it just makes it so much better. Okay. There. So. So actually the background here is going to be the same blue color. I just did that gray, so I had to basically a guide. Do you have a favorite beer? I like stouts, my dude. I usually kind of like lager beers, just like, you know, nothing too heavy. There's one beer I had though a couple times in Toronto, and it was called La Trappiste, or La Trappiste. And I've been meaning to buy some because it tastes like bananas. And you might be thinking, oh, that's weird. I don't want a banana beer, but actually you do, because it was delicious. And when you're drinking it, you're not thinking, oh, this tastes like banana. Well, a little bit, but it wasn't like a bad banana flavor. You know, it was like a good flavor. It wasn't like when you're at the dentist and they give you banana flavored mouthwash, whatever. It was just a very good beer. So Belgian beer seems to be excellent. Every time I had a Belgian beer. But otherwise, I'm not a big beer drinker. In Montreal, there's one called Griffin Red. It's actually excellent. I like it a lot. Saint Ambroise or whatever. It's the company that makes it, I think. Saint Ambroise or whatever. I don't think it's like their main beer though. It's like, I don't know exactly what it is, but Spring David went to get dinner. What have you missed? Not much, man. Just me rambling like usual. I don't really have much to say. Well, I always have something to say, but I don't know if it's that meaningful. Yes, Trappiste. Love Belgians too. Hey man, Biz Wolfer. So are you familiar with Trappiste beer? Because I mean, I gotta get that one again, man. That was excellent. I like watching LPs of walking simulators. It's usually just chill vibes and new impulse. Walking simulators? Oh, you mean like those things that they play at the gym, like on those treadmills? Those things are a little bit distracting to me. I'd probably, you know, I don't want another screen in my life. I'm trying to just exercise, and they're like, here, increase your screen time again.
I just want to say something to everyone that I see that is standing around and crying. This is nothing to cry about. This is something we should all rejoice about. We should be happy about this.
Griffin Red Ale. I don't think it's anything fancy. It's just like one of those kind of beers they make in Montreal, but it's I like it. If they have it at a restaurant, I'll usually get that. I'm lucky enough that there's a bar that makes like a microbrewery and called Benelux. And they make some pretty good beer too. But every time I go in there, it's not that often. They always have something different. I guess I don't go there very often, so every time I go it's a little bit different. Should go again soon though. Right on, Biz Wolfer, man, that sounds pretty good, dude. I'm happy that you know what I'm talking about. Oh! Umami, walking simulator games are about exploring different and unusual worlds that don't exist in real life. Okay. I see what's going on. I see. Interesting. So kind of like, well, I don't know, what would it be like? What would be the, like, if they don't exist in real life, so it'd be like a liminal space kind of. Yeah, man, if a beer company ever approached me to make some beer label art, I'm sure I would do something pretty funky for them. I only have to do this one more time. Now, technically, there is a plug. I mean, there is. I could have done some of the scratchy effect in Cinema 4D using Arnold. But you know what? It would take me a couple hours to get it to look perfect, and probably. And sometimes I just want something to do while I'm on stream. You know, I don't need to think too hard about something technically, you know, so I usually just fill in colors when I'm on stream. Because I can't actually think and stream at the same time. So all I have to do is that one more time. And then on a later day, I'll do all the different mouth movements so that I can animate him talking. Maybe have some forehead movement too, so that he blinks and that sort of, you know, all that fun stuff. Vivica Angel. I was a psych major, fine arts minor. I can't thank you enough for the conversations your work has inspired between myself and my 15-year-old son. Hey, well, Vivica, hey, I really appreciate that comment. I love hearing stuff like that. You know, honestly, some of the best comments I get are when people say how somehow something I made in animation or whatever has brought them closer to a family member. I remember there was one person who wrote once that they have a dad, whatever, and he basically just keeps to himself, doesn't say anything. You know, not interested in watching movies and that sort of thing. But he put Interface on the television, and his dad came down and sat next to him and watched it, and he watched like the whole thing. And it was weird because like he would never watch a movie, but for some reason the interface it made him interested. And so those comments like that are I really appreciate them a lot. They make me feel like whatever I'm doing has some sort of meaning behind it. So thank you. Another one that was kind of funny was one of the voice actresses for Interface, the woman who does Henrik's daughter. She went back to her parents' house, and her brother and dad were like, "Hey, you should check out this web series called Interface." And she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, I'm one of the actresses in it. That was just funny to hear too. Hey, Thomas Flores, how's it going there, man? Yeah, man, my office now is pretty sweet. Like, look at this. I got a television back there. I got little mischiefs on my corners, you know, and I got a whole room to myself, and it's got a fan. And I got this weird Chinese lantern in the corner too. That. Oh yes, it's very cool. Birds are falling over that. Before, if you go like to my old live streams, I was basically sitting in a room full of cardboard boxes, So, you know, I'm very happy that I got like this nice creative space to work in now. Before it was just a big mess, especially in the summertime. When it was like 4 Disney Worlds. That must have been 4 years ago at this point. Time flies. That's an interesting place to be watching some Umami animations. Probably the best place to watch them is the Aerosmith ride queue line at Disney World. Oh, that's pretty funny, man. How long are the lines in Disney World? I don't know. I mean, I went there a long time ago when I was a kid. My parents were very nice and took me to Disney World. And I remember they were smart and they got these things called fast passes. So you would, basically, we didn't wait in too many lines. You would like basically reserve a spot in line, I think. Like with a fast pass, and you show up at a certain hour. That's how it worked. That was pretty cool, because otherwise the lineups would have been like 45 minutes long each or something. And from what I hear, it's gotten worse. I don't know. Not worse, but just it got long. I don't know. Watching from Amsterdam. Amsterdam? Oh yeah, man. I think I saw that you were doing some traveling. Are you are you doing like a artist kind of like residency or something like that? Is that what it is, or are you there to? So I noticed you were messing around with some technology over there, and I thought it was pretty cool. I don't really know. I was almost in Amsterdam this year. Interface screened at the Kaboom Animation Festival, but I decided not to go just because it's just expensive, you know, and I also got invited to go to Annecy, France, so I decided, well, I'm going to spend my money and go to Annecy instead, which I feel like was a much better decision for me because I know a whole bunch of other people who are going to Annecy, and got to hang out with them for a bit. It was a lot of fun. Self-employment visa, man. That's right on, dude. That is awesome. That is awesome, man. If you don't mind me asking, how does that work exactly? Do you, like, if you're self-employed, can you travel to Amsterdam for a certain amount of time, like 6 months or something like that? You can just work there? Is that how it works? Some countries have like pretty high like regulations for that sort of thing, but some countries it's not very hard at all. Hey man, yeah. I already did a bit of traveling this year. I was in Annecy and Iceland. Iceland was just kind of a special treat. You know, I was planning on going around out there with a friend this year. Annecy was not something that I planned, but they invited us last minute, and that was also really, really nice. I might be going to Norway I am going to Norway this year. It's doing a lot of traveling this year. It's eating into my animation time. But if I'm gonna be honest, it's, you know, I feel like I need to do some more of that non-animation sort of activity. Otherwise, I will actually probably go insane. Much love, Moscow, Netherlands. I'm in Seal Falls. Currently, it's 9 p.m. Seal Falls. 2-year visa, but renewed for 5 years at a time. Yeah. Lucky because it's a program for Americans. Right on, man. Very cool. Yeah, man, take advantage of that stuff. That is awesome. Veronica, hello. Too Radical, hello, hello. Love the fog, man. That's one of the things I miss from Halifax. Okay, so now, as you may or may not know, but when I smear is a little bit different from the 3D model that I use as a reference, so I'm going to just try to fix that up a bit too. Basically, he's got like 2 foreheads but 3 noses. Like his head doesn't really split apart like this. So I'll just... Also, Norway. 4 a.m. Hammy, Norway. I am going to Norway, man. I'm going to Oslo and very small village. Just for a couple days. What's going on with my pencil? Get rid of this. There. That's not really supposed to be there. That's looking more like a sphere. Now, his head, though. So you're telling me Umami is a normal human and isn't a blob of flesh. Well, technically I am a blob of flesh. But for these streams I really try to like squeeze myself into this human-shaped mold. It only lasts a couple hours though. Okay, I gotta fix something here with his face. I don't know exactly what's going on, but why? Amy, do you use photo references or figures under a lamp to recreate shadows on your characters? Could be useful for shading in general. So for this case, I used a 3D model and I projected a light above so I can kind of get a quick idea where the shadows are supposed to be. But a lot of times, especially with interface, I wouldn't use 3D models, so I would just kind of estimate where the light is following. I can give you a quick tip for drawing in the shadows on someone's face. But basically, if you're gonna draw, there's like a little triangle of light basically on someone's face. Usually when you're lighting them from 3/4 view, like I forget what the terminology is exactly for the lighting. But let's say you have a person, and let me just kind of rough out where they're supposed to be. Okay, so this is a really shit drawing, but let's just say you have a character here. Just whatever, some guy. Okay. Okay, so let's imagine you drew someone, right? Whatever, this is the guy, okay. Doesn't really matter too much. I just sketched him out really quick. Okay? Now, let's give him some... Here's another tip. It's easier to add light than it is to add shadows, okay? So, tip number 2 is make everything dark, okay? Next tip, draw the light. So, if our light is coming in from this angle, okay? You would have light on the side of the face, right? Everywhere the light is. And you just have to kind of imagine where there would be no light. So maybe he gets a little piece of fat right here, and so that cuts off the light a little bit. The side of his nose would be full of light, right? And probably the edge of his eye, like a little bit, will come into light. Especially the white of his eye would glisten. So all his ear would probably be covered in light here too, especially if he's bald. Okay, so all this covered in light. All right, there's a vein that runs aside down your neck, and so you might want to you can kind of like paint it in a little bit like that, right? And you can not a vein. It's not a vein. It's a tendon. So you just painting like where the light would come from, right? And obviously, okay. So the top of his head would have also light on there as well. Okay. So there you go. That's the first part, right? But another, actually, when the light comes in, sometimes there's a little bit of light that just catches on this side of the face too, because I forget exactly what it is, but it's a triangle. It's called a triangle of light. That little piece of that little dimple that's in the middle of your mouth here, or above your mouth, you might catch a little bit of that, you know, from the, you know, depending on exactly where you want the lighting to be, you may or may not see that. Like, probably may not. You just kind of mess around with it until it starts looking right, you know? That's really, I just kind of wing it, you know? That's, you know, so for instance, if you had hair, also, like, you had hair, the lighting would be a little bit different. You would catch little pieces of it up here, even though it's not exactly where, you know. And then this would also have like shadows in it, and probably be a little bit darker. Maybe a little bit of shadow right there. So I just did a really rough job, but basically, if you do that enough times, you'll get better at doing it. And if you are lucky enough to have a model pose for you, like if you get a light, like a spotlight, you can put it above someone's head, then you can draw exactly, you know, where the light is, you know. And if you want to use something other than digital markers, I suggest there's a technique where you basically use charcoal, and you can make the whole page black with charcoal, and you can use erasers and just use the eraser to mark where the light is, because I don't know why it's so counterintuitive to draw with a black pencil and add shadows, but when you reverse it and you start thinking about drawing where the light is rather than where the shadows are, it becomes a little bit more natural. At least that's what it is for me anyway. So that's what, you know, allows you to. And then also, so once you do that, then you can like add a background color in, so you can separate the shadows from the rest of the character, and things start looking a little bit nicer. And if you want to, you can even, you know, change the base shadow color after the fact, but whatever. It's very subjective. Okay, I was gonna... Yeah, so anyways, I think I'm gonna wrap it up soon, guys, so, just so for those who are joining now. I think I'm liking how that's looking, but I'm probably going to make some more adjustments tomorrow. It's 13 right now. I'm getting kind of tired, so Mark Lucas, I'm sorry, man. I'm just about wrapped up. I need it. You know what? Just let me get some water. Let me get some water. Maybe I can stick around for a couple more minutes. Mark Lucas, I got my interface VHS. Right on, man. I watched it with my dad. Okay, that's cool, man. Appreciate that. It's a weird thing to be watching a VHS tape in 2023. Sovingard. Hey, you're welcome. All right, everyone. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm actually like getting an energy crash now, you know. So thanks everyone for hanging out, and that's it for tonight. You know what? Now that I have this like better computer for stuff, I might be doing streaming a little bit more often. Before it was kind of my computer could barely handle it, so it wasn't very enjoyable. FD, thank you for that. I appreciate that comment. All right, everyone. That's it for now. Take care and good night, and have a good summer. See you all. Bye.